it's still so cool to me that like you guys are so young and so driven to start something that's going to change how we look at HSA payments and change how we purchase these items and actually be able to utilize what we're all putting money into and not just using it for our doctor's visits or whatever that looks like, right?
Obviously, like you said, there's a couple different problems that we're trying to solve, but the main overarching problem, I think, is just creating an opportunity to afford wellness, right?
Yeah.
Basically, we're putting that health and wellness back into the consumer's hand instead of them having to feel like they're waiting in a doctor's office, they're waiting for their appointment, they're part of that whole system. They're getting exploited by insurance where they're having to pay a ton for their insurance. We want to make that as affordable and easy for people as possible.
Welcome back to Killing Conversations, episode 6. Today, I'm with the co-founders of MedPaid, Isaiah and Destry. Destry is the CEO, and Isaiah is the COO of this new crazy app that they've developed called MedPaid that's going to be changing how people view their HSA account and how they're able to use it. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
Thanks,
for
Nick.
having us on.
We appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. When did we meet? We met probably maybe like, 9 months ago now. This was way before we even opened our doors, where this was a construction site and we were walking through a dirt lot. And, I remember talking to you guys on the phone, and it was, I had no clue, basically, when I first talked to you guys, how far into MedPaid were you guys?
Oh, man. We would have been 7 months? About 7 months into MedPaid. Yeah.
Had the Apple Store app launched?
No.
Yet?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah,
so it was just the web page, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Because I remember looking it up, and I was like, man, these guys got it going on. And this was just like such early stages, and you look at to where it is now, and it's just night and day difference. It's so clean, it's so easy to use. But we'll get into all of the functionality and what MedPaid is. But I want our audience, and I want to learn a little bit more about you guys as individuals. So I'll start with Destry. What did you do prior to wanting to take this entrepreneurial journey of MedPaid?
Yeah, so when I was 18, I started off kind of entrepreneurial on my own anyways. Yeah. I started of course, with a landscaping company.
Okay.
And within 4 months, I did pretty well, so I sold it. But then, because I wanted to get into commercial recycling, of all things, because I had a friend that did that.
Yeah.
And that got me into data science and data wipes. And we would go into companies like Northrop Grumman, Kaiser Permanente, wipe their servers, recycle them, do all those kind of fun stuff.
What is that? So for a guy like me who has no clue what a data server is, when you say that you're going in and recycling servers, what does that entail? Yeah,
so for example, what we do is as the technology, the actual hardware, server equipment that people are hosting, like all of their programs on, gets older, the companies upgrade them every year.
Gotcha.
And so you can recycle those in an environmentally friendly way, or you can send it off to China and it just becomes trash and waste that way. But these big companies want to do it in an environmentally friendly way, and they want to do it in a secure way. And so what we would do is we'd come in and purchase the equipment from them, and then we do a full DoD data destruction on all the information that's in the servers, and then we'd either buy it from them to resell it, or we would buy it to scrap it and literally destroy it, melt it down, send it to Canada to be refined back into precious metals.
Dang. And
sold off for that. So that's what I kind of transitioned from one business to going into doing that.
Yeah. And how do you create those, because those are some big names that you just threw out, like Kaiser Permanente and these other medical companies. Like, how do you get involved with something like that? Like you started this idea, you wanted to get into data refinement, and how do you, because I know that you guys have these incredible partners that you work with, and it sounds like this started from the beginning, where you had these connections with these pretty large companies.
Yeah, so it was really funny, because for those companies, one, I had good connections with it, could actually do the data destruction and show it and prove that we could do that right. And I had the logistics companies on my side. Mm-hmm. But what I would do is I went around California, drove from business to business.
You're kidding.
Yep. Gave them a flyer with what we could do and how we could do what we could pay them for their product, right? And how we could data wipe it and give them a letter of destruction and all that good stuff.
Dude, that's so cool.
But multiple times I just go in there and they're like, hey, we need that. And then I'd get pulled into a boardroom with just a bunch of executives and they're like, yeah, tell us what you do. Right. We need to do that.
How old were you when you did that?
I was like 19.
That's crazy. Yeah, and so you're getting pulled into these rooms with these huge executives of these multi-million dollar operations and basically selling did you have the product prior to selling it, or did you sell it and then made it, or like your process, I guess?
Yeah, no, I had the process all built. I had done it on a smaller scale, and then I just scaled it up to do it with bigger companies.
Crazy. And so, are you from California?
I grew up in California. Nice. I'm originally from Utah.
Cool, nice. What after that? What brought you back to St. George?
My family had all moved up here, and I just got sick and tired of like California traffic.
Yeah.
And all that good stuff.
For sure. I get it. I'm also from California, so I totally understand.
Yeah, and we just love the mountains and the outdoors and wanted to come up here.
No doubt.
Move here.
That's sweet, man. That's a crazy, that's such a crazy background. And Isaiah, I'm sure you have something, another crazy story as well. So tell me a little bit about what you did prior to coming to MedPaid and starting it.
Yeah, so I started in sales, specifically solar sales.
Okay.
And mostly just hanging around that field of things. I also did some construction before too. And then, we did solar sales in Phoenix, my wife and I, and she was obviously super killer at it. I was okay. I was decent.
Yeah. Well, I know you drive a hard bargain. So like you're definitely the muscle behind the deals. So yeah. I'm sure you did pretty well too.
Yeah. No, it was good. We enjoyed it, but it was time to come back to St. George. All my family's from here, and came back here, and we actually met each other at our former employer.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah. So prior to starting MedPaid, and that's where we met, and then we, all kind of got together and was like, man, we gotta do this. MedPaid would be good. So
yeah.
But yeah, my background isn't as crazy. I'm still pretty young. I'm like 26. My wife says that when I shave my mustache and beard, look like I'm 12. So it's like,
yeah, that tends to happen. But that's why I keep what I got going on is because I would be in the same boat.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah,
I feel you.
I gotta look a little older sometimes for sure.
for some meetings, definitely.
Yeah.
Dude, that's pretty. It's still so cool to me that like you guys are so young and so like driven to start something that's going to change how we look at HSA payments and change how we purchase these items and actually be able to utilize what we're all putting money into and not just using it for our doctor's visits or whatever that looks like, right? So take me through like the first stages of the idea of MedPaid and how this idea came up, but then also like the first couple months and because obviously like I think you guys are clearing out of the startup phase right now, but like that first year of startup has got to be such a
it's a lot of work.
It's a ton of you guys are here constantly, and so I see you grinding constantly. And so, how does it take me from the idea to kind of like growing a little bit out of that startup phase right now?
Yeah. So, and what I'll do is I'll let Destry go into like the beginning parts of the idea, and then maybe because as you know, we've expanded a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not just the app anymore. We have like a full-blown marketplace now. So maybe I'll go into that split if you want to kind of talk about how you came up, because really he's the brain behind it. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. So basically, once I moved back here to Utah, I spent the last 6 years in the supplement industry. And I saw that there's a lot of good things about it and there's a lot of bad things about it.
Yeah.
And I was able to kind of find some niches that I felt like we could really help people grow and expand with, right? And one of the big things is you have all these supplements, but people don't know which ones are really vetted, verified.
Sure.
Which ones actually have studies that back them.
Because you can pull anything off a shelf and have no clue what the ingredients are in it, and have no clue who it's been approved by.
Exactly.
You don't know anything about it, and you're kind of playing like hit and miss with a ton of different supplements.
And what a lot of people don't know is like even on Amazon, because Amazon lets people just go sell whatever, right? They can get it ungated. It's gotten better somewhat, but people still fake it, and there's all these counterfeit products. So like if you go look up a big brand, you'll see they have like at least 5 or 10 other counterfeit products as well. And so
people creates, like trying to copy what they're doing.
Yep. And it creates this confusion because the original person might have really good ingredients, but the other people are getting like just junk product and putting it in there, like really low quality. And the customer is like not sure, right? Yeah. They have reviews to go off of, but they might buy the wrong one. So it's not a really clean slate.
Yeah, it's so hard to like navigate that, especially on a platform like Amazon, because things look identical. Like they look almost exactly what you think that you're purchasing, and you might be getting a good deal, and you just click buy, and you have no clue. Like I've done it multiple times on just random stuff, and I'm like, I've actually seen this in person, like in a store or something, and then I saw it was a good deal on Amazon, and it's completely different than what I thought I was purchasing. And like that gets a little scary when you're looking at things that you're putting into your body.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just saw an opportunity that like people need doctor vetted wellness products. And then I found that you could, talking with my friend Nate, who's a doctor for MedPaid now, but I was talking to him and we were talking about how like, you could do reimbursement for certain products and how we could really be on the cutting edge of the wellness industry and actually help people, right? There's so much in the healthcare industry that is after the fact, right? After someone's already showing symptoms or sickness,
right?
As where you can start with stuff that helps support and protect people's health really early. And how do we integrate that with modern medicine? And so that's kind of how we came up with MedPaid. And first, our first idea was to do the HSA, FSA reimbursement with what's called a letter of medical necessity from the doctors, building that doctor network.
Yep.
And getting that all laid out for the customer, so it's easy. Like we wanted to make it easy and fast.
Oh, totally. Yeah, because I mean, you go into Walmart, you go into Target. They're starting to do it a little bit more now, where it's like HSA certified product or whatever. But you normally wouldn't have any idea, and it also it's difficult because like if you don't have your card or your HSA card, or if you aren't sure if this is HSA approved or if it's not, what's the doctor's note? What is it called?
It's called a letter of medical necessity.
Okay.
And it's really interesting because you have products. So like when you go to a normal doctor visit, that's fully eligible for you to use your HSA card and prove it, right? Same with some like medications and things like that. But more the holistic wellness, you have to have that recommendation by your doctor, and that doctor has to have proof showing that there's studies that back the therapy or the product or the ingredients. Totally. And so what we took as our mission was, let's go and do all that research and start making it easy for the world to be able to have their doctors recommend those products based on their health needs and conditions.
That's so cool. Yeah. What are some examples of things that necessarily wouldn't be considered an HSA purchase, but you guys are helping people kind of like close that gap on?
A lot of it is just supplements in general, but also we're going to be opening up to workout equipment here soon. So like weights and treadmills and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, there's like a whole list, and you can find it on SIGIS. It's kind of like what governs the HSA world a little bit. But they have what's called eligible and dual eligible products. Eligible products, you can always just use your HSA on.
Right.
Dual eligible products are things that mostly fall in that supplement category, the workout equipment and gym memberships even.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of really interesting things, like if you go dig into it.
Yeah.
So like different, like massage can be done with LMN, like if you have a good reason for it. Cold plunges, saunas, acupuncture are some of those ones.
Things that like have yoga. Been proven to help your health and help your health journey, like that not necessarily would be considered medical, but it ties into your daily health, right? And the medical side to obviously health, and then there's the holistic health. Obviously, they're completely different avenues, and they're completely different ways that people view those things, whether that's medication to doctor's visits to something like that, but then things that actually prevent
the
these
preventative
things,
exactly,
right? And that's kind of the bridge that you guys are like creating or closing the gap on, where it's, we want to help you prevent these medical visits and prevent having to go to the doctor, and here is a way for you to fund that.
Yep. Solve problems before they become problems, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. And so where does that, I know that the letter from the doctor, obviously that's needed for these purchases to be considered okay for HSA and be, because it's a lot of it's with the IRS, right? They're the ones that are looking at your HSA purchases and qualifying them as tax-free purchases, because obviously you put into your HSA, they don't tax that money, and you can purchase items that basically are untaxed, right? That's kind of the idea. And
you purchase pre-tax essentially.
Pre-tax, and these normal items like an Apple Watch, for instance, that does so many things for you in the health world, where it's tracking your fitness, it's tracking your calories, it's tracking your sleep, it's tracking all these things. But that's not necessarily an HSA product, right?
Right.
Is what you guys doing, is that something that connects those two things to where it's like, oh, I can purchase something like this because it not necessarily is a medical device, but it is something that it will help me in my health journey, health life.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
you can. The biggest thing is it really comes down to the individual. And so like with MedPaid, what really is cool about it is that we curate the assessment and the doctor's interaction with the customer based on what that product is. So let's say it's an Apple Watch, right? And it basically is the doctor's going to review questions from that customer that really make sure that person actually needs that for a medical application, right?
Yeah.
Being able to actually use it to improve their health.
Nice.
If we don't have the documentation to back that, then the doctor's not going to recommend it.
For sure.
But that's where we spend a lot of time and a lot of money building our database of all the research and having our doctors evaluate all the products individually and make sure that we're recommending it for the right things. That's pretty cool.
That is super cool. And when you guys are looking to onboard partners and onboard products, how does that process go? Because it's got to be so much research and so many meetings and whatnot involved with these partners, because you're not going to, obviously you're creating this change of, these are products that will help you, and they're not fake, they don't have bad ingredients. Like, that's got to be a huge research process for you guys. What qualifies a partner for you?
Essentially it's high quality products, right? And then a trusted brand that obviously provides good customer service is a big part. We have that two-pronged thing, right? So we have like the Shopify app for companies to use and install and actually be able to utilize like that HSA process on their website. Yeah. But then we also have the marketplace, right? Yep. And that marketplace is for companies to go to this one platform where they can list their products and do all that stuff. Our tech team's amazing. They've built it so that it's super streamlined. It's super clean. Yeah. We're able to import, the products. We're able to research them and get them all done. And obviously the research portion is the longest and the hardest portion. So the props to our medical team. But the biggest thing that we look for is for trusted brands that have high quality ingredients in their products.
And really the research backing those ingredients.
Yeah.
So that's where MedPaid as the third party comes in with our doctors. Our doctors look at, let's say, a company. We have some companies that have over 200 products, and then within those products have like 30 to 50 ingredients, right?
Sure. Each, right. You got that laundry list on the back of the bottle.
Exactly. So our doctors have to go in and look at each individual product, look at all the ingredients, and then look at all of our research and connect the dots. And part of
seems like a heavy process.
Yeah, sure. And that's really part of the secret sauce of how our tech team built that so that it's manageable and we can do that at scale.
Yeah, because you guys have a decent amount of partners on the platform already. Yeah. How many exactly do you guys have you currently onboarded?
I think we have around 67.
67. And at scale, obviously, I mean, it could be never ending, right? But like, at what point are you guys like, okay, we have a good amount of partners and products on the website?
Yeah.
Ideally, we would love to just keep going as many brands and as many products that we can find that are high quality. We obviously don't want the consumer to be limited on their choices as well. If they found a product that they love, like we want to make sure we provide this option for them.
For sure.
Yeah, and as we screen these companies and their products, a lot of these companies, let's say they have 100 products, but only maybe 40 to 50% of them might get approved. So only the products that get approved by our doctors that we put on the marketplace.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Could you name a few of these partners that you have that people would already know, and kind of why they would purchase that through your guys' marketplace versus me just going into Target and buying this product?
Yeah, so we have partnerships with Goli. I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Yeah. Yep.
Ancient Nutrition, we have product on the marketplace selling for them. Vita Hustle.
Vita Hustle is a fun one. That's a Kevin Hart's company. And then we have Thorn Nutrition. It's a new one that we just brought in house as well.
Nice.
Yep.
So the cool thing too about MedPaid Market is we are able to work out some deals with those partners where we can give really unique experiences that you wouldn't get on Amazon or in store or anything like that.
Yeah.
We're able to give special offers and different giveaways of different products, so you get to try new things.
Yeah, totally. Because I was scouring your guys' website prior to this, and like there's your Goli section. I mean, you guys are running a special right now on Goli, and it's like $14.99 for a bottle. Where if I was to go to Target right now, it would be $29. And these are because you form these partnerships, you're able to purchase this at probably at a wholesale rate where you can then create the price for your guys' consumers to be as competitive or more competitive than the supply chains.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
That's cool.
That's cool. What's like when you guys are looking at full scale right now, how many users do you guys have currently?
Yeah, so we do about 20 to 30,000 people on our website every month.
Wow. And at scale, what are we looking at? Like when you guys are full-fledged, like going, because you guys are obviously you're going right now. Obviously, 30,000 is a great number, obviously. But what are we looking at in a year or even in the next few months?
I'm hoping the next couple months.
I'm hoping the next couple months will be at about 200,000-300,000 in traffic.
What makes the change there?
We're just going to do a ton of promotion.
Yeah.
Get our name out, and that's really the big difference. And then the other thing that our goal is, like, by the end of the year, try to get to around 300,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
So that's what we're working on.
What's your guys' plan to push the name out there? Like, what do you guys? Is this you, Isaiah, that's leading this charge? Is it you, Destry? Are you guys hiring a marketing team? How is that?
Yeah, so we have our marketing vice president, Lisa Hunt. She's amazing. She does a really good job. She's kind of overseeing the whole process, but it's a combination of things. It's, obviously running our own in-house marketing and campaigns.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be working with our brand partners to push through with them, because obviously their customers right now haven't had the opportunity to utilize HSA, FSA. Right. And so for them to be able to offer that to their customers is going to be a huge benefit for them as well. So, having them partner with us to promote as well is going to be a big factor in growth.
We partner with a lot of these brands, and then they're able to send this out to their whole database of canceled customers, current customers, or whatever, and that drives a ton of traffic for both them and tons of sales, and then back to us as well.
I remember talking to you about that. So, because you were saying Goli has like a couple million people that are either subscribed to their emails or are customers that haven't used them in a little while, but they have that data, and they're able to give that data to you to then blast out MedPaid to try and regain those customers. And it's kind of a win-win for Goli, but it's also a win for MedPaid as well, because then they're using the marketplace, but Goli's still getting their basically stagnant customers back because of their whatever promotion you guys are running, or just that they honestly didn't think about it, right? And you're able to get into their email or their phone or however you're going to do it. And
we basically just partner with Goli. We give them the content, and then they run it out to their
cool.
Their team and their database. So it's fun.
So there's, and if you guys don't want to talk about this, there's a project that you're currently working on where it's a doctor, well, I'll quote it, a doctor project, right? Mm-hmm. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and how that's going?
Yeah, so doctor product, basically what we're doing is that we're making it so the doctors can actually, on the other side of the app, because we have hundreds of doctors across the U.S. that can do these assessments, right?
Right.
But a bunch of these doctors also want to be able to recommend these products out to their patients. So we're building that side of it, and we call it like our practitioner program.
Nice.
And the way that works is we just work as the shipping side for those doctors, mm-hmm. and we're a virtual dispensary. So the doctors basically determine what the patient needs, and they can recommend it out to their customers, and then their customers can go and buy it on our website. And it works the same way with the HSA, and they get that approved as well. But it's just making it easier for the doctors to connect them with products that are helpful.
Yeah, while also not having to like carry inventory in their doctor's office. Right?
Exactly.
We handle, the shipping and all that stuff like Destry was saying. So
that's really cool. And it's, I mean, like in the non-medical world, it's kind of like a referral program, would you say? Kind of like they're referring all of their patients to the marketplace, or not?
Not necessarily. So basically, the doctor has their own store.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
They have their own store with products that they pick ahead of time. And then that doctor can say, these are the things that I think you should need, and then they can buy from that. But the doctors can't do any referrals. So it's basically, here's the store. You can, if you want, you can go pick your products.
Oh, sweet. That's so cool. So obviously we've talked a lot about the pain point in HSA, in finding good products. In a summed up version, what problem are you solving for consumers here?
I mean, there's obviously, like you said, there's a couple different problems that we're trying to solve, but the main overarching problem, I think, is just creating an opportunity to afford wellness, right?
Yeah.
Because
it's a great line.
Health and wellness is really the true. What's the word? Oh, it's the true version of wealth.
Yeah.
Right.
Health is wealth.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What they say.
Yep. Obviously when I first started MedPaid, I had that crazy accident with my leg.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you sit back and think like, holy cow, like it's not all about money. It's not all about growing a business. It's truly about being able to be healthy. I just had a baby around the same time. So it's, being able to spend time, being able to walk, being able to do the simple things, that's truly wealth. Right. And so that's what MedPaid is about basically providing this opportunity to prevent problems before they happen, be able to make it affordable. Right. And be able to do all these things so that people can actually be healthy and be with the people they love and not have to deal with that kind of stuff. Obviously mine's a little different.
Yeah.
You can't prevent, you can't prevent breaking your leg.
Yeah, right. You never know when that's going to happen.
So, but it makes you think and it makes you reflect, totally. On that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Our goal is to bring, make wellness affordable for everyone, and for it to also be a sense of empowerment that people can take accountability for their own health and work to improve it on their own, but still have the advisement of their doctors right there if they want it.
Yeah. It's a huge problem that you guys are definitely solving, because I mean, we've seen a little bit of a shift over the last couple of years. I mean, post-pandemic, a lot of people are way more focused on their health and their health journey and becoming just a better version of themselves. And people are realizing that you don't true happiness is you being healthy and being able to spend time, like you said, Isaiah, with your loved ones, with the people that you want to be around. And if you're not healthy, you're not able to do those kind of things. And we've seen because of the pandemic, that's what truly matters is we lost that sense of connection. We lost that sense of being around the people that we love because of an unhealthy environment. Right. And so I think that's such a huge mission that you guys are tackling. I would like to ask, and I ask everybody this question, what does MedPaid look like in 5 years?
I'm hoping it's, the largest health and wellness marketplace in the country. I mean, I don't see why we can accomplish that in the next 5 years. We're hopefully providing a really good experience for the customer, not only providing several different products and options, but also providing a way for them to afford those products.
For sure.
So, but he would know
more.
What do you
say, Destry?
He's the brains behind this.
No, I'd love for us to just grow our marketplace. And I think the other thing too is as we integrate everything, we also have a full telehealth aspect to it, right?
Right.
So I'd love to just be able to push that out to where we're helping more people across the country, as many as possible, get the answers to their health as much as they need. So one of the other unique things about MedPaid is you have all your lab tests as well. So you can get your lab tests there.
Oh, yeah.
So someone could come in, want to buy a supplement, right? They buy that. They end up taking a lab test to see how would that help their increase or decrease their health, whatever it might be, right?
Sure.
And then they're able to talk to our doctors about that and work through any problems or growth that they need to really solve their health problems. So we're putting that health and wellness back into the consumer's hand instead of them having to feel like they're waiting in a doctor's office, they're waiting for their appointment. They're basically part of that whole system. They're getting exploited by insurance where they're having to pay a ton for their insurance. We want to make that as affordable and easy for people as possible.
That's so cool, man. No, I think I see it every day and I'll kind of tie into a little bit about your experience here in this building that we're currently sitting in, Kiln, because I get to watch you guys do this, and I think it's so cool. And when I'm doing tours of this place and I'm showing people the businesses that are in here, you guys are always a highlight on my tour when I get to walk by your guys' office, because I can see just the wheels are constantly turning. You guys are absolutely grinding in your office there. How has your experience been with us here at Kiln?
It's been amazing. Yeah, no, we've loved it. I think being able to have the facility, right? But also I know our employees love having, the kitchen and the events that go on. And me personally, I love the massage room.
Yeah,
right?
There you go.
Massage, but it provides that balance where you're in the office and you're working really hard, but there's spaces just outside your office that you can zero in and refocus and rejuvenate, really. So that's been an extreme help for us.
Yeah, it makes it really easy to work long hours.
Yeah.
I'm glad you say that. That's part of our goal for sure. And our team loves you guys. And you anytime you stop by the desk with something cool, it's just it's such like a rewarding experience for us, because we got to bring a company like yours in and get to watch the growth and see how expansive this is really going to get, and I'm just so excited to see the growth that you guys have and see what this looks like in the next year, 2 years, and I'm just happy to be able to kind of watch part of the beginning of it and get to continue to see you guys grow. But incredible in product, incredible marketplace. MedPaid is going to be absolutely huge, and so thank you guys so much for coming and talking with me for a little bit. And I can't wait to see you guys grow.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it, Nick.
Cool.
Yeah, we're excited. So
awesome. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks.
Thank you.